Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And very good evening to you. This is Newsline Live. Sorry about this slightly late start, but this evening our guest is a former Member of Parliament and the current candidate from the SJB. He's right here with us, Mr. Harshana Rajakaruna. Very good evening to you, Harshana.
Good evening.
And now then, how are your membership, before we get on to the campaign, first question, how are your membership troubles?
I did receive yesterday, rather today, this morning, a letter from Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Still?
Stating that its membership is suspended.
Right.
Giving me 7 days notice, 7 days to reply.
Okay. Well, but what's your response to that?
I mean, the funny part is, it was him, headed by him, the working committee that approved SJB, Samagi Jana Balawegaya, as
at the working committee.
At the working committee as the alliance, and for Sajid Premadasa to lead that.
Right.
And also the working committee gave the authority to appoint a general secretary for SJB, and it was all approved by the United National Party Working Committee.
So how do you view this? Is the Ranil Wickremesinghe the leader of the party that you were from? Is he being mischievous?
No, I think they suddenly didn't want this to happen.
Right.
And went back against what they approved. And unfortunately, this whole thing happened. I believe the working committee's decision was the right decision, and they shouldn't have gone back against that decision.
But to go back, you'd need to have another working committee meeting.
Exactly.
If it's democracy.
So unfortunately, it's sad what had happened at the end. I believe that Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe should have given the opportunity for Sajid Premadasa to lead the alliance, and the United National Party as a party should have been in that alliance. Unfortunately, I think a few people.
How are you going to beat Ranil Wickremesinghe at his game?
So the best way to beat this whole thing is to prove at the elections and show the world, the country, the people who has the most number of members in the parliament at the next parliamentary election, and where I believe that 99% of the true UMPs are with Sajid Premadasa, with SJB.
I see. All right, let's move on a little bit, and you'll notice that the economy is the big ticket item in between not only the election process, but in between this pandemic, CV-19, that we are all going through, indeed the whole world going through. The economy. Now, along with that was the almost sensational telling off by the president to central bankers. And there is a school of thought that the Monetary Board of Sri Lanka are sort of enjoying the adulation, but have not done anything concrete, because legally they are, in fact, the economic advisors to the government of Sri Lanka. We see a remarkable lack of proactiveness in that respect, unless their advisories have not reached the wider public, and we don't know about it. So in the absence of that, then it appears that they've been very silent, if you like, and also not having acted on the advisories given by others in this government. So you have a situation where they've done, we'll have to say, nothing. What's your take on all this? Should the president be coming on air and telling them off?
Faraz, I think it's a fact that people are disappointed with what happened in the last few months. Especially the small and medium businesses are struggling at the moment with this current situation. And banks are, yeah, you're absolutely right, not doing anything. Not only the main bank in Sri Lanka, the central bank, but also the commercial bank. My point is, now, President, it looks like a well-practiced drama.
Really? You're being skeptical now.
No. My point, somebody has to take the responsibility. There's no point in shouting at some officials. Who's the head of the government? It's the president.
But
and
the
Prime
central
Minister.
bank is somewhat acting, supposedly
It's under the finance,
independently.
yes, true, but it's under the finance ministry.
Yeah.
And who is the finance minister? It's his older brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Yeah.
So the minister was not there. It's the minister's responsibility, and he happened to be the prime minister as well. So he has to take that responsibility. And when
Well, it's Harsha Rajakarna, I'm sorry, but as you said that, my mind went back to the previous government when we had Ranil Wickremesinghe also not taking any responsibility for, even though the central bank was listed under him when they went into that dreadful state. Yes. I don't even want to mention what happened, but the greatest scam, scam to have been inflicted on the people of Sri Lanka, not my words, but the Attorney General's words.
So I agree on that.
Yeah, so to me and the public, we see two prime ministers acting about the same.
You could say that, but coming back to what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
It's the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa who's the minister in charge of the finance ministry, and he should take the responsibility. And also there's a issue. Now, in our government, we did have a huge program called Enterprise Sri Lanka. About 15 loan schemes were given.
Yes.
Some were zero interest, some were reduced number of, the interest rate was reduced, maybe 6%, maybe less, different types of loan schemes. And that gap was paid by the central bank to the commercial banks, to the rest of the commercial banks, which gave those loans. For example, if it was Bank of Ceylon or People's Bank or NSB or RDB, those government banks, the gap was given by the central bank.
It was reimbursed.
By the central bank. But unfortunately, that provision is not there at the moment. So just by you yelling at an official, would not help. It will look good. I saw on social media so many positive comments. But if you really look at it, that's not what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to
it's got a certain amount of reaction. We saw the lights on till late at the central bank.
Yes.
But then Dr. W.A. Vijayawardena, the former deputy governor of the central bank, has got a different viewpoint altogether. And he says that if you make decisions in haste, you will, in effect, repent.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't augur well. Dr. Vijayawardena also says that by this method, the liquidity, which is already quite high, has been added to. And what the banks are doing is placing it on their overnight facility and getting 5.5%. So Dr. Vijayawardena opines that he would like to see a situation where those rates are brought down, and then eventually all the rates should come down if it is to make a a real difference. But on that note, let's go for a short break, and we'll see you on the other side. Don't go away. After all, this is Newsline Live.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And welcome back to Newsline Live, a rather limited edition, I think, this evening. Now then, Hashan Rajakarna, what are the main themes that the SJB will be looking to present to the people to gain their vote and their trust?
Our manifesto will be launched shortly. I don't want to talk about it till it's launched.
Isn't it a bit late?
I believe that it should happen as soon as possible. I agree. So this is a problem. I think it has.
Which is why he should have your leader Sajid Premadasa should have been given far more time.
I agree.
By your.
I agree completely. I'll tell you one thing that we've launched where I can talk about, especially the youth manifesto.
Yeah.
We did sign some sort of a social agreement between SJB leader Sajid Premadasa. I think it's very important that the youth is involved in politics.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a massive trend for the youth to get out of politics.
Yeah.
They don't want to get involved in politics at all. So, we did have, long time ago, a 40%, as if I'm not mistaken, 40% compulsory participation for nominations for the local council elections, that is allocated for the youth below 35. So now we have agreed, and the leader Sajid Premadasa, he has agreed for the rest of the elections, which probably the provincial council or the local council or the next parliamentary election, that a 25% of the nomination list will be filled by the youth. So I think it's very important.
But what about professionals in your group?
So I think it should be professional. There should be professionals in any case. But I think it's very important that the youth is given the opportunity, and especially for politics, for actual getting involved in politics. We have in the local council 25% compulsory female participation.
But has that worked out?
It does. But unfortunately, when we introduced that, we got rid of that 40% youth, which is, I believe that we shouldn't have done that. I actually had few arguments within the group also. But I believe that we should correct something that we did wrong. And 25%, which is not only for the local council, but for all the elections here on.
Harshan Rajakarna, how does the SJB propose to deal with the economy? It's in bad shape.
It's in really bad shape. I think we have to look at it in few points. I think.
Have you already got an action plan? Is that going to be spelled out in your manifesto?
Yes, certainly. I mean, if I may say a few things which is quite common sense, is that we need to for the poorest, we need to give them an allowance. The government gave 5,000 rupees for the month of April and May, but they are not giving for the month of June. I believe that they should give for the month of June as well, and I believe 5,000 is not enough.
Okay, carry on. I wanted to ask you how you're going to get the money, but you carry on.
So I believe that they should give more than 5,000.
Right.
That is, I'm not talking about for each and every family, but for you know, for the poorest. And also for the economy to run, like we were talking about the small and medium enterprises.
Yeah.
You know, the government needs to give them loan schemes, interest-free loan schemes for the businesses for the economy to run. And not only small and medium enterprises, even the larger. You know, I know the biggest companies are getting rid of so many employees.
Right.
Especially, you know, I know in my district there are 3 big free trade zones in Biagama, Katunayaka and Watupitival. And most of these main companies, big, you know, blue chip, top 10 probably companies, I don't want to mention names, but they are getting rid of employees in a very large scale.
Therefore, what are your plans to jumpstart the economy?
So that's why the central bank, the government, has to give low interest, interest-free.
That can work in the short term. It's a short-term fix.
So
What about the medium and longer term?
No, I believe that we will come out of this. I don't think it will last forever.
No, it won't last forever, but we need to be prepared.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have to be safe. That's totally a health part of it. But we, at the short term, we need to keep this going. If these companies get rid of people, in the workforce, I mean,
Our problem, as you know, is that out of Sri Lanka's workforce, 62% are unskilled and only 38% are skilled. And on top of all that, if you look at grade 1 entries, it's around 330,000 to 360,000. By the time you come to university, there's only 30,000 spaces, and vocational training is 114,000. So faced with those amazing numbers, how on earth are we going to move forward to a $12,500 per capita GDP in the next 4.5 years?
it's a it's a tough one, but we have to start it somewhere. I think you know, vocational training.
It was tough, if I may say so, back in 1983. It seems such a long time ago, that when this group's factories and so on were all burnt to the ground. It was tough, but we rebuilt thanks to strong leadership, that and a commitment and a purpose of mind that said we will be back, and we are bigger and better than we've ever been. This is something that we are coping with now, but that's what I'm only picking that example because it's an easy example to pick, because it's right home. And it's all down to leadership. If we don't have the leadership and the commitment, where are we going from?
No, I agree. You know, we need a good leader to lead this country as well as a good team.
And you have that in Sajid Premadasa.
I believe so.
But you have a couple of people, a few people trying to hold his leg and pull him down. And your leg too, and all the others, because you've got a letter now from Akida.
Yeah, but now we've moved on, haven't we? We are a different
so you're just ignoring
alliance, and yeah, I believe that the public, the people, will reply, respond at this election, and they will show where you know, unfortunately, the UMP is at the moment.
Good. Specifically, do you have a program aimed at helping the daily waged people?
Unfortunately, you're talking about the current situation? Or?
Talking about when you come into power.
No, we have, not only regarding that, we have a whole policy paper which should be launched soon. So I don't want to talk about specific things. I spoke about the youth thing because we launched it last week separately.
when you campaign in this new normal way of campaigning, which is pocket meeting to pocket meeting, what are you hearing from your people? What are they saying? What are they saying? Do this for me, Harsh and Rajakarna. What is that? Do this.
Actually, the main focus when we are going for this sort of meeting, it's the hardcore that is coming out, right?
Yeah.
So that hardcore was very disappointed with the previous government that they were not looked after. It could be jobs, it could be some sort of other grievances like political victimization and things like that. Unfortunately, previous government didn't attend to those specifics. So they want strong leadership that and some assurance that people who comes forward would be looked after.
Are your people asking you about Ranil Wickremesinghe or not? The people.
Whether
well,
no,
what are their
no,
concerns
no,
about
no,
him?
no, no.
They've just
No,
left
in the
him.
sense, like I said before, 99% of the UMPers. I'm a UMPer.
Yeah.
My father was a UMPer.
But you're now contesting on the SJP.
Yes, we are.
Unfortunately, Harsh and Rajakarna, we've run out of time. Isn't that amazing?
My
We're
God.
having a good time.
I know.
Time flies fast. But
we should do this again.
Good luck with your. We should do it again.
Yeah.
Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.
All the very best, and all the best when you are on Pathika Day tomorrow morning. On that note, we'll say good night to all of you. Thank you for watching this rather limited edition of Newsline Live, and take care. And remember, in this we're all together. Take care and God bless.